How's it going, everyone? I am Gibbs, and welcome back to the All New Nerds channel. With The Mandalorian Season 3 right around the corner, releasing on March 1st, I thought we'd take a quick look back at the first two seasons of the show and the Book of Boba Fett, so you can jump right back in without missing a beat. Back in Season 1, Din Djarin, the titular Mandalorian character, forms a fatherly bond with the Force-sensitive alien Grogu, another one of Yoda's species. As you might recall, this little guy is actually 50 years old, and is revealed later on to have had some type of training at the Jedi Temple when he was younger. At the end of the season, a former Imperial security agent named Moff Gideon, who wields the infamous Darksaber, which we'll touch on later, reveals himself to be very interested in the child, and nearly takes him from the Mandalorian on the volcanic Outer Rim planet Navarro. But with the help of Greef Karga, a local agent of the Bounty Hunters Guild, Cara Dune, a rebel dropper turned mercenary, and IG-88, a reprogrammed assassin droid, the Mandalorian is able to escape the Moff and get off planet. In Season 2, the Mandalorian embarks on a mission to return Grogu to his own kind, the Jedi. This mission leads him to the water planet of Trask, where he meets Bo-Katan Kryze, a leader of another Mandalorian subsect called the Night Owls. Bo-Katan was a very important character in the animated Clone Wars and Rebels TV shows, and she makes her first appearance in live action here. I highly recommend watching these episodes of the Clone Wars and Rebels before the new season of The Mandalorian, if you really want to understand Bo-Katan's backstory, but it shouldn't be absolutely necessary to understand what's going on. But we know she's going to be a very prominent player and potentially an antagonist to the Mandalorian down the line. Bo-Katan sends the Mandalorian to the forest planet of Corvus to find a former Jedi, Ahsoka Tano. Like Bo-Katan, Ahsoka was in the Clone Wars and Rebels, and was the former apprentice of Anakin Skywalker. Upon meeting Grogu, Ahsoka confirms to the Mandalorian how powerful he is in the Force, but refuses to train him because he is bonded too much with the Mandalorian. But she does tell Din that another Jedi might choose to train Grogu, and recommends to bring him to the Seeing Stone on Tython, an ancient Jedi beacon of sorts. On Tython, Din meets with Boba Fett, who I'm sure you'll all recognize as the stoic bounty hunter from The Empire Strikes Back and The Return of the Jedi, and Fennec Shand, another bounty hunter from the Season 1 of The Mandalorian. He is seeking his armor, which is in Mando's possession, which he reclaims as Imperials sent by Moff Gideon invade Tython. Grogu is able to briefly reach out to an unknown Jedi at the Seeing Stone before he is interrupted by the Dark Troopers, advanced mechanical droids commissioned by Moff Gideon. Grogu is kidnapped by these droids and is transported across the galaxy. Mando then goes on a mission to find the Moff's coordinates, and with the help of Boba Fett, Fennec, Cara Dune, and Bo-Katan, he's able to track down Gideon and infiltrate his cruiser. Here, the Mandalorian duels with Gideon, who wields the Darksaber, and is able to best him in combat, sparing his life. Unknowingly, he's now won the Darksaber, and is the rightful ruler of Mandalore. Bo-Katan is immediately upset by this, as she has been seeking the Darksaber, as she wants to be the one to reunite Mandalore. Before this conflict can boil over, the Dark Troopers are activated and have almost broken into the Imperial Bridge where Mando and company are. But before they can break in, a lone X-Wing appears, driven by none other than Luke Skywalker. After dispatching of the Dark Troopers, Luke reveals that Grogu had reached out to him on the Seeing Stone, and that Luke will be taking Grogu to train, meaning that Mando's mission is complete. Mando removes his helmet as he says goodbye to the child, and Luke leaves with Grogu. That was all we thought we'd be seeing from the characters until Season 3, but it didn't take long for the Mandalorian to return in the Book of Boba Fett, another series on Disney+. Here, we reunited with Din Djarin, as he is searching for the Armorer, the leader of his cult of Mandalorians. He eventually finds her on the Glavis Ring world, and learns more about the Darksaber, which he now wields. The saber, crafted by the first Mandalorian Jedi, Tar Vizsla, is a sacred artifact of Mandalore, and it has been foretold whoever wins this artifact in fair combat can unite Mandalore once more. Din now has this responsibility, but he does not seem to be interested in fulfilling his destiny. Din then informs the armorer that he has removed his helmet, making him an apostate. She tells him that he must return to Mandalore and redeem himself in the living waters in the mines beneath the planet. But before he does this, he wants to bring a gift to Grogu and see him one more time, and goes to the planet where he and Luke are now training. There he meets Ahsoka Tano once more, who warns Din that seeing Grogu again might ruin his training, but she agrees to deliver the gift, a set of Beskar armor. Luke then gives Grogu an ultimatum: take the armor and return to the Mandalorian, or take Yoda's lightsaber and continue his training as a Jedi. Grogu ends up choosing the armor and travels to Tatooine with R2-D2 to reunite with the Mandalorian who was there helping Boba Fett. The two are finally back together and jump into hyperspace, presumably to Mandalore. So that is the story so far, and that should cover all the basics of what you need to know before Mandalorian Season 3. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you found it helpful at all, it would be great if you could leave a like. Me and my co-hosts will be reacting to each Season 3 episode and breaking them down the next day, so be sure to subscribe for more Mando content and come and join the conversation. We'll see you next time.